I was gonna say like happy Friday, but I'm like, we're not really there yet, so happy hump day. My name is Beverly Osawinke, and I'm the founder of Project B Wardrobe Consulting, but now also the founder of Solely Curated, which I will talk to you ladies and gents about. How is everyone doing this evening? Amazing. So I have a really fun workshop for you guys, which kind of covers fashion and style and like style, like identity, but also really importantly, self-discovery. 'Cause I feel that really ties well into fashion. And it really comes down to understanding your personal style, how to figure out how to step into your next level self. I have a whole mantra about it's so important to dress for the job that you want and really embody that, and that kind of becomes your reality. So we're gonna dive right in, and we're gonna talk about discovering your style identity. I think everyone should have a little program so they can like kind of follow along there. Yeah. Oh, it's just right there, just that paper right there. So when you think about your style identity, you kind of think about it in different ways. So what do you normally gravitate towards in like your closet? What colors do you love to like wear? And also your lifestyle. So the best rule in discovering what your style identity is to think that your personal style is an extension of who you are as well. So that's kind of the way to kind of figure that out. And first acknowledging that and getting a clear understanding of your personal style, which also dives back into what your wardrobe represents. Because I'm a big believer that your wardrobe says a lot about who you are. And as we evolve and as we grow, so should your clothes and so should your personal look as well. So it's all really important to edit and revamp. So I like to think about discovering your style identity in 3 different types of ways. The first way is experimenting. The second way is inspiration, and the third way is your lifestyle. So experimenting really comes down to playing around with fashion. It's like, I feel like everyone kind of takes fashion super, super serious. They kind of get a bit nervous, and I really think that it's all in our mind. It's all in our mindset of how we don't want to try different styles and looks because we're so worried about what someone else think. So I like to say, get out of your own way and experiment and have fun. And when you are experimenting with your personal style, you are going deep dive into your personal wardrobe. That's kind of where the foundation is of your closet. Again, your closet says a lot about who you are and where you're going. So have fun with your personal look. A quick fun fact is that we only do wear 20% of our wardrobe. That's true. And we usually gravitate towards the exact same pieces because it feels familiar. You're like, that was me last week, I know. And another reason is because we don't rotate the closet. So the reason why we go back to things that feel familiar is because they feel safe. So when you rotate your wardrobe, you actually get a lot more wear. So grabbing that white blouse and like putting it behind the closet and allowing it to trickle its way back down will kind of give you a bit more sense of like, oh, I haven't wore this top, or I haven't wore this blazer in a while, and I actually forgot about it. So doing that really helps you discover what you own, and also obviously make you wear a lot more of it. And the second thing is inspiration. So you need to think about what inspires you. Like we find inspiration going into department stores, again, style discovery, going to your wardrobes, looking on social media, traveling. I had a client about 2 weeks ago. She was like, I really want to elevate my personal look and elevate my style, but I don't know where to like start. And I'm like, what do you enjoy wearing? And then she had to sit back and kind of think about that. I'm like, okay, now I know that you need to go into your wardrobe and just try things on that. Find what makes you feel at your best and what makes you feel confident, and really think about why that piece. Maybe it's the color, maybe it's the silhouette, maybe it's like that cut. But I think that's kind of where you grab inspiration from instead of just kind of copying someone else's personal look. So I feel like that's kind of, again, like you are your own inspiration. The third thing that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to discovering their style identity is their lifestyle. So to build a style that you love, but also functional, you need to really think about what does your lifestyle look like? Are you married? Are you actively dating? You know, are you a busy professional? Do you have kids? If you're a busy professional, maybe you travel a lot for work. Should you be investing in more things that are less wrinkle-free because you have to pack a lot? Or should you, if you have kids, maybe finding things that are a bit more functional? Maybe you work from home 3 days a week and inside of the office 2 days a week. You need to kind of figure out what your lifestyle look like and how to build a closet around that. Again, this goes back to having a functional wardrobe and always having something to wear, because whenever you're like, I don't know what to wear, or this doesn't work, or I feel like I don't have any clothing, it's usually because maybe it doesn't represent your personal style, or probably it's not aligned with your lifestyle as well. So I'm going to dive into my 3 C's in building your style confidence. And my first C is cut. So when it comes to cut, it's like I have gotten Zara blazers that were 20-pound tailored, and it's probably cost you 20 pounds to actually tailor it. But now that blazer now looks like a 200-pound blazer because the fit is so perfect. So there's a reason why we pay for luxury and we pay for, you know, certain pieces, because it comes down to how it's made. It's the craftsmanship, it's like the fabric, it's the cut. So investing in great quality is a plus. I'm always a push for doing that, because obviously dollar or pound per like wear, but also figuring out that your clothes needs to fit well in order for you to feel good or want to actually wear them. So I'm a big believer in always get things tailored if they don't fit well, or they will probably just hang in your closet and you're like, I'm never gonna wear that because the fit's just awful. And it also kind of makes you look a lot more elevated and expensive. Another C is clarity, and I feel like this kind of goes back to self-discovery of your personal style and going back into the wardrobe and getting a clear idea on what your style is and where you want to go. So when I meet someone for like the first time and we're doing a consultation, I'm trying to get to know them, I'm always like, okay, I know that you may have an issue with how you get dressed, but how do you want to look? What is your goal? You know, so in order to get to that place, I kind of go back inside the wardrobe and see what they currently own and see if it's anything aligned with like where they're going. And usually it's completely different, because again, we are like buying things that are safe versus things that makes us feel good. The third C is being creative, and this is a fun part with like mixing colors and prints and stepping out of your comfort zone, because you really won't get to a place with your personal style if you don't step out of your comfort zone. So you need to discover, you need to play around with fashion. Again, fashion needs to be fun. I feel like a lot of people just take it so serious. It's like, it should be fun. It should be like that, you know, moment when you wake up, you're like, I can't wait to put on something nice and make myself feel great. So it should be definitely something to look forward to. And diving into the third topic, and that is dressing for your body shape. So there's 5 different shapes. There is the apple shape, which is a bit more rounder on the top, bigger around the midsection, and more narrow around the hips. With this shape, you probably will look always best in maybe like a wrap dress. So wrap dresses are usually like my go-to for anyone that kind of just wants to feel put together and they just want to like hide a little bit of their problem areas, because kind of just hides that piece, and then you can always belt it, which complements the whole look and also kind of makes you feel a bit more complete. So I kind of hate the little tie. It always kind of hangs, kind of doesn't make you look too polished. So I always encourage my clients to do a nice wrap dress and then kind of tuck the little tie around and then add a belt, which kind of pulls the whole look together. The other shape is the hourglass, which is you are proportionate from the bust and the hips, and the mid area is like your smallest part. So the hourglass figure always look good. It's about balance, but you also want to highlight the smallest part of like your body, and that is your waistline. So something that is a peplum may not work as well because you're already so wide around the hips. So it's definitely focusing on things that are a bit more straighter cut, nothing too flare, because you definitely want to balance out the bust as well as the hips. The next shape is the pear shape, which is a bit more narrow on the top. So your smallest part of your body is the top part, and then you're really, really wide along the bottom. So you definitely want to focus, staying away from things that add weight to the bottom half of like your body. So things that are pleated, ruffles, because it's just going to make you look wider. So if you do enjoy wearing dresses or wearing skirts with that shape, I will go with something that's a little bit more straight cut and more cleaner, and maybe doing a printed top and a solid bottom, because the printed top actually balances out the hips. It makes you look kind of like balanced, if that makes sense. And then the fourth shape is the inverted triangle. So it's a bit more of a sportier, athletic build. You are more broad on top and more narrow at the bottom. This shape, the actual peplum look works because you have broad shoulders. So again, it's about the balance. So it kind of gives you the illusion that you have hips. So you want to add volume to like the top, but definitely stay away from anything that's too structured, stay away from the Balmain blazers with this look. And then you have your rectangle shape, which is a bit more straighter. I feel like I'm more of like a rectangle shape. I don't really have much hips. So I love doing a nice like fit and flare and A-line. I'll have something that's a bit more ruffle and more pleated. And that kind of gives me the illusion that I have like a hourglass figure. And I will always do a belt to kind of accentuate your waistline. The next topic is embodying your next level self, which is like something I love talking about, because I think that like it's so important to step into that person that like you want to be. And I feel like it needs to resonate with how you show up every single day. And style is an instant language. It's like that 5-second first impression look that you walk into a room and then you really want to like captivate, whether it's a networking event, first date, going on vacation and like entering a scene, or even like your birthday. Who knows? You definitely want to like show up as like your best self. So it's really important to kind of get into that mindset of kind of like trying out different pieces, making sure that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and just having fun. Again, like fashion and style should be enjoyable. It should be that point in time where, you actually shouldn't take it too serious. And it's an interesting place to experiment and also grow, and that also builds out your confidence as well. So key tips in elevating your work wardrobe. A few tips I love to give is, we always obviously wear black. That's like everyone's kind of safe place. You're like, I wear like a black blazer and pants and I just like leave the house. But like, does that really make you feel like your best, right? So I think there's so many key ways to take that black blazer and make it a bit more fun. And I love doing it with like adding texture. Like if you're gonna do a very simple black sweater, maybe adding something that's a different fabric, doing a leather skirt, or maybe doing something that has a floral print. Or even instead of doing like a regular button-down shirt with like a pair of jeans, maybe adding a sweater over it and kind of giving it a little bit more dimension, right? Again, it's all about building out your personal style. And then we all have that very, very simple white collar blouse, maybe doing something with a little bit more frill and adding a little bit more detail just kind of makes you feel better, but also you look better and makes you feel a bit more put together and look more, it's elevated as well. And this could be super cute as well. You're like, why not do like a fun little leather skirt, a white blouse, a pair of boots. That could be cute. Or if you're like, I love wearing my power suits, I don't want to wear black, maybe I want to do a fun color. That could be really pretty with like a white pump or even like a leopard pump if you want to kind of take it up a notch. And if you're not big on suits, you can always do a little black dress and do like a fun statement necklace, almost like what I'm wearing today, which kind of just finishes off my look. I'm a big believer that it's so important to invest in good quality accessories, whether it's a bag, a scarf, a piece of jewelry, because it really does take your look from like A to Z. I love this jacket. I thought this was like classic, but really pretty, timeless that you can have, but it's not all black. It's like a little bit white piece, kind of has like that like, 60s kind of vibe, but you can do this in so many different ways. So I kind of love the shape and the whole style about it. And I pulled this as well. Fun little blazer that you can do casual or dressy, again, like a fun pop of color. Do it with like a white pant, a ripped jean. So it's really important to, again, kind of add that extra piece. And I think color is such a big way to really elevate the closet without really doing much. So adding a scarf or an accessory or doing all black and doing like a fun bag really will help you look and feel better as well. And do we have any questions about fashion style? Yeah, of course.
No, this was very informative. Thank you so much. And your point about experimenting and that we really take it too serious. And yeah, I do. I mean, okay, does it go together? I'm googling. But a question, and you touched upon it, the color that like I really love bright colors, even as a dress, not just as a small piece, but like pink or red as a dress.
Yeah.
And when it's a business event and I'm over 40, 45, is it still something that applies? Or that
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like color applies to any age. So you could be 80 and you could want to wear a red power suit. By all means, do it. I think you need to just figure out like what makes you feel good. And I think when you put yourself in that place where you're like, I'm gonna wear this because this makes me feel at my best, I think that automatically just radiates during like your day. So whether you like are thinking like, is this right for me? Do I feel good? I think if you actually if you put it on and you just feel like confident, that is enough to take you to like leave the house and be like, I'm gonna wear this because I feel at my best. So absolutely, color for sure. Yeah, yeah.
So when you sort of consider men in a formal setting, let's say like a black tie event or something,
Yep.
most of the guys are dressed in tuxes,
Yeah.
and everyone pretty much looks the same. So
Right.
what's one way that a guy can sort of
Yeah.
bring some personal style
I
to a
think
formal event?
I think in general, like, let's just take this away, like, right? Like, let's take this out. I think adding a pocket square, it's stuck, I'm gonna leave it in there, but adding a pocket square takes that to another level. I think when it comes to guys, it really comes down to how things fit as well. You guys have it quite easy. But men, it's like fit, cufflinks is like your accessory, a really great watch, maybe adding a bit of flair with like shoes could be nice. And I know that guys love their socks as well. But I think specifically for a black tie event, I think it comes down to fit. Like I had a client who went to a black tie wedding. He was like, I want to wear like, like obviously a traditional tux. I'm like, how about you wear like a velvet tux? And he's like, and I'm like, I found an amazing like seafoam blue velvet tux, and everyone was in black. But he automatically like stood out because he was like in something that was in a different type of texture. So I think playing around with fabrics, adding a pocket square, even doing like maybe like, a patent shoe. A lot of guys are like, is this too shiny? Like I think like kind of stepping out of your comfort zone and adding your own twist always is a plus. Yeah.
As we touched on textures, I'll have a question on, what fabrics are good for every day. Meaning, it's nice you always iron your clothes in the morning or the night before.
Yeah.
But then, you go and sit down.
Yeah, you're
Stand
wrinkled.
up and you're wrinkled. So what are some of the more easy to wear fabrics that
Yeah.
you can be in for meetings all day?
Yeah.
Or if you have multiple events, you can wear that outfit and you don't have to be worried they will look very different and unpolished versus what you look like in the morning.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think cotton, you just can never go wrong with it. One, because it's breathable. So if you're someone that sweat a lot, that would be ideal for you to wear. Also, cashmere and wool. Yes, it's maybe a little bit warmer, but you don't have to worry about it being wrinkled. Polyester, a lot of people are a little bit like, oh my God, it's like poly. A lot of things are poly, but poly actually doesn't really wrinkle. Silk does, and a lot of women prefer to wear like silk, but a lot of silk blouses and like silk pants is a lot of maintenance. So, but it's beautiful. Like it's beautiful to look at. But if you are going to be sitting down all day, expect to get completely wrinkled because silk just creases. It's beautiful to look at until you sit, But I think you can still kind of get the same look and aesthetic if you do like a polyester. And people are again against poly for some weird reason, but it is like a fiber that is like not a natural fiber, not as breathable, but again, when it comes to functionality, it's probably the most functional. Yeah. Any other questions?
I can have another.
Yeah, of course.
High heels. So when it's a standing reception for 3 hours, it's quite, obviously it looks nice.
Yeah.
Is it something recommended for women, or what are your tips?
Yeah.
to survive that,
I mean, I love a good hill, but I think like post-pandemic, no one's really doing hills. Like my clients are like, Beverly, don't point in like a 4-inch hill. I'm not gonna wear it. So I think like a kitten hill is always fine. I love a hill because it kind of does elongate the body. So it does make you, like hills make you stand differently compared to wearing like a sneaker going to an event. So I always push for a heel, even if it's a wedge or a block heel. You definitely want to wear a heel that is comfortable. And there are a lot of brands like Stuart Weitzman is really, really comfortable. I always that's like my go-to brand as well. But I think when it comes to heels, like comfort is key. Always want to be comfortable because you never want to be in an event and like your feet hurt. And you're like moving around, and then now your mindset is focused on like your feet instead of actually engaging with people. So I think comfort is key, but definitely wearing some sort of heel, whether it's a block, a wedge heel, it's just going to make you stand differently and also feel better as well. So I always encourage that. Yeah, yeah.
Do you have some favorite brands, by the way, that you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, I love shopping high and low. I love vintage. I go into a lot of like vintage stores as well. I love like Maj, I love Sandro, like a lot of French brands. I invest in great brands like Theory when I want to like feel a bit more polished. Pinko is really, really, really great. And then I love my Zara. Like this is a full Zara suit, that I never ever wore. And I was like, I need to find a place to wear it to. Tonight would be the place. Perfect. Try to get most out of my wardrobe, as you can see. So yeah, I'm a big high-low shopper. I love buying things that are like vintage pieces, whether it's like a piece of jewelry or something. Yeah.
Great, it's good to
Yeah.
know that you can also do low.
High-low is always like the way to go. Yeah. And I'm so sorry. I feel like I didn't properly like introduce myself. I just kind of like dived in. So obviously my name is Beverly. Hello. So I have a background in fashion marketing and management. I went to school at Berkeley College. I worked in the fashion industry for 9 years. I worked for probably worked in every sector of fashion, whether it was like PR. I worked for Cosmopolitan magazine. I worked in luxury retail, where that kind of had me fall into what I'm doing now, working with women and men who, just needed that extra hand holding with their personal style. I started my company. I'm originally from New York, from Brooklyn. I started my company in 2018, just as a side hustle. Didn't even think about, ever thinking that it would be a thing. Because my friend, I was helping her get like ready for this big 2-month vacation that, she was taking with her guy that she was dating. Now they're getting married, yay. And I helped her put together like different looks and outfits for this trip. And she came back, she's like, other women will absolutely love if you do this for them. And she was like, I work in finance and I never had time to shop. And I was like, this is like a thing? Okay, cool, let's do it. So I just started working in retail, and I built up my clientele from there, working in luxury retail. And then in 2020, I moved to London in February, LOL, because I was like, why not try out a different space? And I have family here, and then obviously COVID hit. And I figured out like how to change my business a bit, where I do a lot more virtual work. And then I went back to New York. I was like, I kind of love London, even during a pandemic. I wonder what it would look like out of a pandemic. So I came back in spring of 2021, and I found my place in West Kent. And I was really happy there. And then a client of mine was like, oh, like you kind of bring the whole store to my house. And that's kind of how I started off with Solely Curated. And I went to New York, and she was like, I don't want to shop anymore. I don't want to go into stores because I'm scared with COVID and everyone's going to be there. And it was empty, by the way. But I work with these department stores where they now like help me. I actually curate and edit and send it to people's homes. So that's 80% of my business now in the U.S. And I have clients in like San Francisco, New York, New Jersey, Canada, where I just like send them clothes from where I am, so which is really, really, really fun. And now I'm starting that here, and it's called Solely Curated. There's like a little card next to your program. So Solely Curated, as you know, kind of started out from the pandemic, just out of the whim. And I figured out like, what if I can help people still have amazing style, but never have to leave the house, where they have an expert that they can go to. I know this is something that a lot of celebrities and high profile people do a lot, where, stores kind of send them clothing. I'm like, why don't the average person just get clothing sent to their house where we're all busy? Like, why not kind of extend that service? And I started off this new company where it's kind of two parts to it, where you have a style therapy call every single month, or you actually receive an edit. And it's like a 10-piece curated edit from either myself or like someone from my team. And we will help you with that process, bring those pieces over to your home. They have it being sent, and it's also at your convenience as well. So if you have a busy, work-life balance, or you have an event coming up, you're like, I really would love pieces to go with my wardrobe. Or if you actually have or if you don't want the edit, and maybe you just want an actual style therapy call, and you're like, I really just want to know how to put things together with what I own, we could do that as well, because I'm really a believer in wearing what you have and kind of giving it some new life. So that's two parts. We're pre-launching it March 8th, and the official launch will be March the 16th. So that's the process, yeah. Thank you. And I have some pre-consultations that I spoke to a few ladies and gents. There's a fitting rooms. Your rooms are all labeled with your names in it. There's your outfits there. Me and my two stylists will definitely go with you and kind of walk you through that process. And that'll be the second part of the event. So thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. There's also a QR code too, so feel free to scan it. You can definitely add your name to the waiting list, and we will keep you posted. Everyone here, by the way, do have access to a complimentary month. So once we launch, we will give you that 1 month for free to kind of try it out, to see what it's about. Yeah, to see if you like it, and give us your feedback. You're welcome. Yeah.